Hi everyone, it's Wendy. Another box opening. Just so you know, I'm not in my craft room right now, simply because I'm redoing it. So out in my living room, you might hear my bread maker go, and my cat might come to visit, my dog might come to visit, my husband may come upstairs, I don't know. So I've got a little wonky setup here. And this box is from Pop America. Pop Shop. Pop Shop America. Ooh. So, and again, this is a craft kit. It changes every month. This is February. The Heidi box. Make your own dip-dyed blanket. Make your own tassel blanket. Ooh, cool. This is cool. You also can win a free kit. Tag us on Instagram, on the image, so we can see, or tag us on Facebook in the tags. Share your project. So basically you can win a free kit by tagging them on Instagram or Facebook and sharing your project. And they've got all kinds of things here. Alright, let's see what we got going here. So, they do have detailed instructions for this kit. And you actually dye your own blanket. And you make you can make a tassel blanket. So, we have here the dyes. Say what colors they are. Camel and wine. So I'm thinking wine is usually a red. Camel is usually a tan. Good enough. You have gloves. You gotta have gloves when you're dyeing, otherwise your hands are gonna end up that color. These are this is kitchen salt, and this helps set the dyes. Some people use vinegar. Then you have floss. You have 3 different colors of floss, and this is Dmc Floss. How do I know? Because of the number on one of them. Actually, it looks like DMC. Yep, that's DMC. Ha! They don't give you the numbers on these, but I probably have them in my stash. 3021, okay. And they give you the needles. The needle. Now, this needle is not pointed. It is, when you're doing cross stitch, you use a tapestry needle, which is blunt. If you're doing needle point, you use a tapestry needle. However, if you're doing crewel, then you would use, you could use a tapestry needle, it depends upon the fabric you're doing it on. But I've heard of some people preferring sharps, which are pointed needles, like you use when you're sewing. Then you have the blanket, and this is a big blanket. I'm not going to take it all out. It looks like it's an even weave blanket, and the reason why I'm saying that is because of how it goes up and down. Actually, this is what they use when they do those cross stitch Afghans. If you've ever seen them, this is the fabric that they use to do them on. So actually, if you are into cross stitching and you want to make and dye your own fabric, this is the perfect thing to do. Where to start, because you've got this whole big piece of fabric, and this stuff can be expensive, believe me. So let's put this stuff in here and let's look at what they have to say. Dip dye. Okay, you create your dye. They suggest filling a bucket, stainless steel sink, or a disposable container with 1 gallon of steaming hot water. I would actually take and boil the water. because it's got to be hot. If if you have these the big pots, you know, you can find them. They're 5-gallon. People use them for canning. Hispanic culture uses them for their tamales and things like that. Add your container of dye, which is 2 ounces. So that would be 1 bottle. Add 1/4 cup of iodized salt. So let's say you do the camel for this one, and then you decide you want to do 1 and 1. You use just regular kitchen salt. Use 1/4 of a cup and a tiny squirt of dish soap, whatever your favorite brand is. You can use either color dye first. Now, pattern your blanket to do it. This is like tie-dye. If you want stripes, make even folds. You can use rubber bands or clothespins. So basically, you're tie-dyeing this Afghan. Get abstract, crumple it into a ball, or work intuitive for patterns unique to you. Now, put on your gloves before you dye it. Dip it into depending upon how long you dip it in, will help strengthen the color. If you dip it in for a few seconds, it's going to be very light. If you dip it in for a minute or more, it's going to be very dark and very concentrated. Dip and redip areas of your choice. The more you dip, the darker the areas will get. So if you dip one area for a minute and then take it out, decide, nah, that's not dark enough, dip it in for another minute, take it out. Then you use your second color. So you're going to use both colors. So like I said, this is going to be a 2-color tie-dye. You repeat the process, covering some of the white areas and parts dyed with your first color. Next, you're going to rinse. And once you're done, don't worry if some of it's white. It's a 3rd color. Because the colors will actually bleed and blend and as you rinse the blanket. And I would suggest doing this either in your washing machine on several rinses or in your shower. Just make sure your shower is very clean, and that if you could actually take and set up some sort of clothesline that you can hang it on. And remember, it will be heavy because it is wet, and if you have a removable shower head, you can rinse it off that way. And you rinse it until the water runs clean. It's just like when you're dyeing your hair. You rinse it until the water runs clear. Then you wash it on warm and dry on regular heat, and that helps sets it, along with the soap that you use, the dish soap and the salt. They also include how to make the tassels, which is what you use the floss for. And basically, you're just going to take and make a square of cardboard, wind and wind until you finish. Remember, if you're going to make tassels, do you want 2 tassels? Do you want 4 tassels? If you want 4 tassels, you've got to divide your thread up into 4ths. You want 2 tassels into halves. And it shows you exactly how to do that. So this one is a messy project. Let's put it that way. This one's very messy, and it's very time consuming. But if you're a crafter, it's going to give you a background. If you're someone who has been wanting to work with this type of fabric, this is Afghan fabric, and people do cross stitch on it. They have these grid pieces that kind of divide it up into blocks. I'm not sure how big blocks is. And this is a cotton blanket, so it is a big blanket. So probably for a twin size bed. And you know, some people do design in every block. Some people do it in every other block. So it's up to you if you want to take and do even more to this, because the because you can even see here, you've got these large areas. You also have these smaller areas here that can be worked. So, you know, if you want to go that, if you want to get that involved, or make it that involved, you can. Otherwise, just tie-dye it and let it go. This is a very nice cotton blanket. I have one of these that I actually use in the summer because my feet get cold, so I need a little extra on my feet, and that's what I use. So these are very nice. And like I said, you can just tie-dye it and leave it at that, or if you're embroiderer, cross-stitcher, you can actually take and do some designs, because this is easy. Okay, again, this is from Pop Shop America, and they've got a new thing where you can win a free kit. Okay, on to the next one. Hi everyone, it's Wendy again. This video, blurry, is actually going to be connected to my other Pop Shop America video, because this is also Pop Shop America. I have no clue why I'm getting doubles. So, let's get this puppy open. Oh, tweezers. Great tool for cutting. I'm not kidding. I've watched some of these videos and they're using butcher knives. I'm like, oh shoot, don't cut yourself. I'm not sure when this one came in. So this is another Pop Shop DIY box. So let's see what we got. Make your own chalkboard tray. Okay. Win a free kit. Ooh, I got a note. Uh-oh. The party platter tray or box. Alright, let's see what we got in here. We got a lot of paper stuff. I'm not gonna. Okay. So let's start with what's on top. We have, oh, there it is. We have these little thingies. I think something fell out. Just fell out. Okay. We have a knob. There should be two of them. We'll probably find it. It's in the box somewhere. It fell out. Okay, so we have the knobs. There it is. Yep. See, so we have two of these. You gotta have two. How else are you gonna hold the tray? Of course, you could put the knob in the very center of the tray and carry it that way, I guess. I don't know. Alright, so we have the knobs. We have the screws for the knobs. Why one is longer than the other, I have no clue. We have a piece of felt. I think that's the eraser. We have wood clear coat sealer. I am going to take and put these in here so I don't lose them. That's one thing I love when they do these craft kits. If they have everything in a bags, you know, it doesn't have to be multiple bags. If they put everything into one or two bags, perfect. We have chalk. We have tape, rip fancy tape. How people get out really like this type of tape and washi tape, and to me it depends on the brand. Some brands just don't stick, you know. We have chalkboard paint. Have a paintbrush. Okay, and down here, oh, hold on here. What's this? Chalk marker. Anything else? Oh, we got more screws. So we got too long and too short. And then underneath all this paper filler, we have our little wood chalkboard tray. I'm not going to take that all out because then I have to find a place for that, and I don't have a place for that because I am making do because I am tearing apart my craft room, and I am reorganizing it, so I am doing this out in my living room. Alright, so we've got all our supplies here. They give you an inventory list. Get these put in here. Yep. Then they talk about how to make it. Now I've seen, this is a small one, I've seen some that have been done to fit over your stove, and that's all well and good. The only issue I have is if you have a gas stove, you can actually burn it unless you raise it up high enough so that it isn't affected by the pilot lights. If you have an electric stove, you have to make sure it's off before you put it on. Some people do that for extra space, you know, to cut and things like that when you have small kitchens. But this would be a neat serving tray. Let's see, everything you need to know about chalkboard lettering. Okay. So, you're going to use your box as a paint box. Your box is a perfect place to add your clear coat. So you're going to start with putting on your clear coat and allowing that to dry for 2+ hours. It should be applied in a well-ventilated area. Make sure you even have a fan going, a couple windows. If you live in an area where you can paint outside or in your garage with the door open, that'd be even better. Next, mark the area where you will chalkboard paint with your washi tape. So rather than using the washi tape for decorative reasons, they actually include it in here so that you can mark off the area. If you want the whole thing chalkboard, do the whole thing chalkboard. You don't have to tape it off. Use straight lines and press the washi tape down firmly to prevent the chalkboard paint from seeping underneath. In order to do that, you're going to have to draw lines. You're going to have to make some sort of lines so that you can make sure your chalkboard, your lines are straight, unless you choose to do your own design. You know, if you want it to be non-straight, go right ahead. Because the important thing to realize is when you're doing crafts, it's not about perfection. We all make mistakes, and so long as we use those mistakes for creative opportunities, by that I mean when I am making an album, if say I make it so that a page flap folds the wrong way, do I scrap it? No, I just use it. I just say, okay, let's see what I can do with this. Oh, I can make a pocket, or I could take and add another piece and make a fold out. You know, one time I made a card backwards. So that rather than opening this way, it actually opens this way. And rather than trash the whole card, all I did was say, write a message on it, because I send my kind of mistake cards to my sisters. I say, can you tell I was having a bad day? Anyways. Now, here they do include something very important. Chalkboard paint is not food safe. If you want to add food directly to the board without paper, without plates or parchment paper, you're going to take it and have to clear coat it again over the chalkboard paint because it is not food safe. But then you won't have as much fun, because why paint it with chalkboard paint if you're not going to use chalk on it? Okay. The chalkboard paint requires 2 coats, and it does dry very quickly, believe me. Now you're going to use a screwdriver to attach the handles. The felt, you're going to cut it and put it underneath the screws so that it won't scratch your furniture. If you want, they do make these little felt circles that are over in the frame department that you can buy, and they do the exact same thing. And they actually stick. You don't have to glue them on, they actually stick. Now it's time to get creative with your chalk and chalk ink pens. Letter your tray so guests will know what you're serving. Use phrases to show you how to attach the handles. They even, look at this, they even show the little dots that I'm talking about, the little felt dots. You can place one over the screw itself and then one in each corner, and that way it won't scratch. Now, on this one, they talk about seasoning your chalkboard, and basically what it's going to do is you take your dry chalk, not the pen, but this, the white stuff that gets all over your hands, you know, the teachers used to write with, and you'll place it flat and you'll run it up and down. Then wipe it down, and this will allow you to write on your chalkboard over and over and prevent your lettering from adhering to the chalkboard permanently. You can do a template, and when you do a template, use what they call a mirror template. So basically, if this is my template and this is the right side of my template, I would flip it. Because if you put it on this way, things won't look right, may not look right. They have 20+ templates available at popshopamerica.com. You can print them on paper and will always be in reverse. Chalk your templates. It's on your paper template, add tons of dry chalk to the lines, letters, and shapes. So you're again going to use this type of chalk. Then place the template face down towards the chalkboard tray or sign. Use a popsicle stick or a butter knife, or if you've gotten one of the other kits that I've talked about, a brayer, and gently rub the template, transferring the chalk to the tray or sign. If you're using a brayer, don't use heavy pressure, use light pressure. Now you're going to ink your ghost image, and basically what that means is the image that is left after you lightly rub, that's what you will write on. Basically you're creating a tracing, something that you can trace with your chalk inked pen. Just to remember that is not food safe, but you can apply to dishes or mugs. They do say to bake the paint in the oven before washing in a dishwasher. So let's say you're going to put chalkboard paint on a mug, a ceramic mug, you would have to take and bake it in the oven. And there are lots of tutorials on how to bake ceramics, glass things. I've done it with mason jars. You heat the oven to a certain temp. Well, you put the items in the oven, you set the oven to heat up to a certain temp, and then once it reaches that temp, you may leave it on that temp for a certain amount of time, or you may turn it off immediately, and then once the oven has completely cooled, that's when you take it out. So again, this was Pop Shop America. All the information you need to know, including a link to their website and pricing, will be in the description box below. Thanks for watching.